Time now for Focus. And whether you're buying a new car, a vacuum cleaner or a television in America, it is almost certain that part of your new purchase, at least, was made in Mexico, or to be precise, in Ciudad Juarez. This border city mushroomed in the 1980s thanks to manufacturing. During the last decade, it became synonymous for a period with drugs and crime, but it has cleaned up its reputation in recent years. Now, though, residents fear that all this could be in jeopardy as Donald Trump vows to bring American companies back north of the border. Our correspondents Laurence Cuvillier and Mathieu Comin went to Ciudad Juarez to find out how people there are coping with the threat.
They've been working through the night. Buses are about to take them home from this factory that makes car parts. Delia worked almost 15 hours in a row.
We started work on Friday at 3:30 p.m. and we're leaving now. It's 6 a.m. on Saturday. We do that 2 or 3 times a week.
Is that legal?
It's legal?
Well, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But really, no, it's not.
This is a typical morning at one of 323 factories in Ciudad Juarez. 9 out of 10 people here are from families who moved to the city looking for work in the 80s and 90s. Then the US market was hungry for consumer goods. Donald Trump has promised to relocate all of this manufacturing to American soil. But Delia and her family are unconvinced.
People here might be affected by this one way or another. But I don't think that on the other side, in the US, they'll be able to work like we do here, not with the long hours that we put in.
Delia earns the equivalent to $5 per day. Across the border, the minimum wage is $7.35 per hour. For the time being, the workers and their employers are skeptical. And at the main workers' union, they've got one message: don't panic.
It takes time to educate people, to get them trained, and to put together the workforce that we have here. It's impossible to do that overnight. The investments and the conditions that have made it possible to operate in Mexico didn't happen overnight. They took years and lots of investment. You can't just turn the light off, shut the door and leave. It's not that easy.
Ciudad Juarez is one of the main border crossings between the two countries. On the other side of this bridge is El Paso, Texas. Every hour, around $11 million worth of manufactured goods go north. We dropped by a trucking hub. Manuel Sotelo runs a fleet of 200 trucks that deliver goods to Texas. If the proposals to increase border tariffs go ahead, he could be one of the first hit by Donald Trump's policies. So, is he worried?
Nothing's changed. Well, except for the fact that now we get a good laugh reading U.S. news every day. Americans and international investors aren't in Juarez, Mexico to help us out or to do charity for us. They're here because it works for their interests.
But out on the streets, recruiters are having a tough time. It seems the factories here are facing other problems: staff shortages.
Since 2010, fewer and fewer people have been applying for work. Jobs aren't that attractive. At the moment, there are 2 to 3 factories that pay about $65 per week.
Maybe it's not Donald Trump who's killing the manufacturing sector here, but the labor practices of foreign companies. Despite new perks and benefits, job hunters seem to fill in applications with resignation.
Sometimes they don't treat you well, or the food in the canteen is really bad, and they don't provide good benefits.
So even as the factories try to lure more people in, that side of Ciudad Juarez seems to be slipping away. The city had focused on the American market for 50 years, but lately the Mexican market's pushing through. The former American consulate in Ciudad Juarez has become symbolic of this shift. It's now an incubator for business ideas.
There's lots of potential to develop new technologies with everything we've learned here along the border. We have to take advantage of what the manufacturing sector has left us. These international companies are like big schools, and they've provided skill sets to local engineers. So if some companies decide to move away, the challenge for us will be to get innovating.
On the menu this morning, a shoemaking workshop led by a Mexican designer.
I would like to have my own shoe brand one day. A Mexican shoe company that would sell locally and all over the country.
This is the new thought in manufacturing, creating by Mexicans for Mexicans. Whatever policies play out on the other side of the border, Ciudad Juarez is already gearing up for a new era.